Still a mystery at the top of the table over in Italy, as we don't know who's going to become champions this season, with current leaders and current champions internationally with a 3-point gap over the nearest and dearest, Napoli. That's right. But what's going to go on this week? We'll take a little look at next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today is all about match number 33 over in Italy. That's right. Who's going to come out on top this week? Maybe, of course, closing in on Champions League, or maybe getting themselves out of the old drop zone. Well, let's take a look at all of it in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. Again, if you're new, hit the old subscribe. Your one-stop shop for Italian football, world football, and Blackburn Rovers football. We've got it all here under our Ruski. Of course, it is Napoli. They're in the chasing pack right now to close in on top table Inter Milan. Can they do it? Well, we'll get into it just a second. Of course, now, before that, we're going to bring you back up to date with the results on the weekend. Of course, look forward to this week's drama and maybe, just maybe, bring you back up to date with the prediction league. So sit tight, hold on, let's get into it. Of course, now here we go then, guys. These were the results from this weekend, and they're on the screen right about now. Milan with a massive 4-0 away win against Udinese, on with a draw on that one. Venezia with a 1-0 win over Monza, got that one spot on the nose. Inter did beat Cagliari 3-1, got that one bang on. Meanwhile, Juventus with a 2-1 win over Lecce, 2-0 winners in my eyes, ain't too shabby. Atalanta with a 2-0 win over Bologna, I went with a 2-1, Dirk's on fire. Meanwhile, Fiorentina with a 0-0 draw against Parma, I went with a 1-0 win. Meanwhile, Verona and Genoa 0-0 in the end. Again, I went with just the 1-0 win on that one. Como with a 1-0 win over Torino, I went with a draw. It was all square in Rome between Lazio and Roma, 1-1, I went with a 2-2. And then, of course, Napoli did put 3 past Empoli, as predicted, but I did give them a goal to make it a little bit more sweeter. But that is that. Not too shabby by me, but of course, if I was doing the Superbru, it would have been a good week. But I'm out of it. This is the table as you see. It's just 3 points between Inter and Napoli. Both played 32 games for the season thus far. That's it. That's the title race right there. Atalanta too far gone, I think. Juventus back in the top 4. Bologna still got dreams of making that top 4 as well. What about the race to avoid the drop? Monza look toast. We already know that. Empoli, Venezia, Lecce, Parma, maybe even Cagliari to an extent are in that questionable relegation zone. And what about this race here? Where's Roma? Roma still might have a chance at getting top 4. We'll see. Meanwhile, over in the Superbru, it's Xandus kicking ass to take names alongside Dream Marley with 16.5 points apiece. Both of those guys sharing the yellow jersey this weekend, shall we say. Teabi's in bronze or silver, 14.5. Maka and Alex Weller and Vindona Victory and Jake Harmond are all sharing the bronze. Wow. Goodness gracious me for those guys. If you see your name in there, please smash that like, smash your subscribe. And of course, the leaderboard looks a little bit like this. Teabi is running away with it right now. Dream Marley's in second. Raymond Reddington is in third right now, but it can still go change very, very much. A lot of points on the offer. Is it a double match week in Italy? Well, we'll see in a second. No, it doesn't appear to be. But anyway, let's get into the next round of games then, guys. And of course, look forward to what's going on in Italy. Now, remind yourselves, of course, how to get involved with the Superbru, just in case you don't know, because we'll be doing one of these, hopefully, for the World Club Cup. If not, we'll be doing our own version. But this is how you do it. Just get there, follow that link, get in there, and have a play around. But before all that, now we're going to get cracking with the next round of games, all coming at you, starting on the weekend of the 19th of April. That's right. Lecce against Como kicks us off on the 19th of April on the Via del Mir. Lecce and Marco Giampolo, 17th for the table, 26 points for the season. They're winless in the last 9 matches up against Como and Cesc Fabregas. Good season for them. 13th for the table, 36 points for the season. They're unbeaten in the last third, but coming into on back-to-back wins. Now, they played Lecce 6 times since 2012. 2 wins for Lecce, 1 for Como. There's been 3 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time that I played at Lecce in the league was way back in August 2021. That was in Serie B and ended up all square 1-1. The reverse fixture this season was back in December. It was a 2-0 win for Como in their own backyard. So hoping for them to get back to continue where they left off. Lecce in the back of that 2-1 loss to Juventus. Como on the back of that 1-0 win over Torino to try to make it 3 wins on the spin. The bookies for this one, they'll go with Como as favourites. Not so much for me. I'm going with a draw here, point apiece. We'll see if I'm right or wrong this coming weekend. Monza, they're up against Napoli. That's coming at you over at the Stadio Briatano. Monza and Alessandro Nesta. All the way down rock bottom, 20 for the season, 15 points for the campaign. They are winless in at least the last last 12, up against Napoli, table toppers, or just about to be table toppers, could be anyway, sitting in second with 68 points. Now, these two sides have played 9 times since 1999, 2 wins Monza, 4 wins Napoli. There's been 3 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Monza, it was a 4-2 win for Napoli way back in April 2024. The reverse fixture this season at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium was a 2-2 win back in September. So Napoli are unbeaten in the last 3, conceded just 2 goals in those last 3. Monza, though, losing to Venezia most recently. Napoli on the back of that 3-0 win over Empoli. And the bookies will be backing Empoli heavily on this one, so don't even touch it with a barge pole. I'm going with a 2-0 win Napoli on the road to put themselves in a good spot heading into the rest of the weekend's drama. Roma up against Venezia, coming out to the Stadio Olimpico. Roma under Claudio Ranieri. They sit 7th right now, 54 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Verona under Paolo Zanetti, unbeaten in the last 4. They sit 14th right now, 32 points for the season. Now, they played 27 times since 1996, 16 wins Roma, 5 wins for Verona, and there's been 6 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time that these two sides played over at the Stadio Olimpico was a 2-1 win for Roma back in January 2024. The reverse fixture, a 3-2 win for Verona this past November, in match day number 11. Roma on the back of 2 successive draws during Juventus, and then of course their bitter rivals Lazio. Verona on the back of 3 successive draws, drawn with Parma, Torino, and Genoa. Goodness gracious me! The bookies' odds on this one, they'll don't think it's a draw. They'll back Roma on this one, as do I. 2-1 win against the recent draw flurry between these couple of clubs here. Empoli will take on Venezia on Sunday, April the 20th. That's coming out to the Carlo Castellini. Empoli under Roberto Di Viesa are down to 19th right now. That's in the drop zone, and they're winless in the last 6 matches. Up against Venezia under Eusebio Di Francesco, they're in 18th right now, also on 24 points, and they've just won once. When you look at it a different way, actually, they won once in the last 6, however, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Also, they are the draw kings, picking up 4 draws out of the last 6 matches. Now, they played 18 times since 1993, 3 wins Empoli, 8 wins for Venezia, and there's been 7 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Empoli, it was a 2-1 win for Venezia way back in September 2021. In fact, Venezia are unbeaten against Empoli over the last 5, picking up a couple of wins and 3 draws. Venezia, though, picking up that 1-0 win over Monza, massive win for them. Empoli on the back of that 3-0 loss to Napoli, and haven't scored a goal in the last 3 matches. Now, the bookies' odds for this one, they go in favour of Empoli here, even though Venezia have got a little bit of a better record than them. I've gone with the 1-1 draw, point apiece, which doesn't do anybody any good, considering that they're down the foot of the table and desperate for points. Let's go to Bologna now, a.k.a. Renato Di Arelia. Bologna under Vincenzo Italiano, they sit 5th right now, 57 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Inter and Simone Inzaghi are top of the table right now, 71 points for the campaign. Now, they played 54 times, these two clubs, since 1997, 12 wins Bologna, 32 wins Inter. There's been 10 draws between the two sides. Last time around at this very venue was a 1-0 win for Inter way back in March 2024. The reverse fixture this season, 2-2 draw over in Milan. That's right. Bologna, though, losing to Atalanta most recently. Inter picking up that 3-1 win over Cagliari, of course. Inter have got sidetracked this week. We're taking on Bayern to get through to the semi-finals of the Champions League. Can they do it? We'll see. But the bookies on this one, they go in favour of Inter. It's not a big void between these two sides, so Bologna have a chance. I've gone with an upset here, 2-1 win Bologna, which again opens up the chances for Napoli to close in on top spot. AC Milan taking on Atalanta, coming out of the Giuseppe Meazza. Milan under Sergio Conceição, they sit 9th right now. Not the best season for them. 51 points for the campaign, just 1 defeat in the last 6. But a win this week against Atalanta, currently managed by Gianpiero Gasperini, who sit 3rd. 61 points for the season would do them the world of good. Now, Milan and Atalanta have played 52 times since 1993. 24 wins for Milan, 13 wins for Atalanta, and there's been 15 draws. Last time around, over at this very venue, it was a 1-1 draw back in February 2024. The reverse fixture over at the Guayas Stadium, it was a 2-1 win for Atalanta back in December. What are we looking at here? Milan on the back of that 4-0 win last time around against Udinese. Atalanta on the back of that 2-0 win over Bologna. Big win it was for them in the race of Champions League. The odds on this one is tight, very, very tight. Could go either way, could even be a draw. But I'm going with AC Milan victory to continue their last-minute surge for some European football next season. Torino up against Udinese, coming at you at the Stadio Olimpico Gran Torino. They're managed by Paolo Vanoli. Torino, they sit 10th right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6. But look at it a different way, just 1 win in the last 5. Udinese and the Kostas Kunjic, they sit 11th right now, 40 points for the campaign. They've lost 4 on the bounce. Now, they played Torino 41 times since 1993, 17 wins for the hosts, 14 wins for the visitors, and there's been 10 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at This stadium was a 1-1 draw back in December 2023. The reverse fixture also a 2-2 draw between these two sides. Udinese, though, on the back of that 4-0 loss to Milan. They haven't scored a goal in the last two, have Udinese. Torino on the back of that 1-0 loss to Como. Wow, wow, wee, wow. Odds on this one, Torino are expected to get the W. I've gone with them as well. 3 points in the bag, 1-0 winners, and a big surge at the table they go. Meanwhile, Cagliari will take on Fiorentina over at the Unipol Dumas. Cagliari and David Nicola, they sit 15th right now, 30 points for the season. Just one win, though, in the last 6 games for Cagliari. Up against Fiorentina under Rafael Palladino, back on form for them. They sit 8th, though, 53 points for the season. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6. Now, they've played Cagliari 49 times since 1994. 12 wins for the hosts, 25 wins for Fiorentina, 12 draws between the two sides. Last time around at this very venue, it was a 3-2 win for Fiorentina back in May 2024. The reverse fixture over at Fiorentina was a 1-0 win way back in December. Cagliari, though, did lose to Inter most recently. Fiorentina only drew with Parma last time around. Now, the odds on this one will go with Fiorentina. Fiorentina have got Salege in the conference league there, so it could be an important week for them. They're expected to win according to the bookies. I've gone with a 2-1 win as well for them on the road to continue their dreams for some European football. Naturally in the domestic league. So we'll see. Genoa taking on Lazio coming at you on also on Monday the 21st. Quite a few games on Monday. The Luigi Ferraris. Genoa under Patrick Vieira sit 12th right now, 35 points for the season. Just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Lazio under Marco Baroni. They sit 6th with 56 points and have lost just one win in the last 6 matches. Now, they played 40 times since 1993. 13 wins for Genoa, 21 wins for Lazio, and there's been 6 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at the Luigi Ferraris, it was a 1-0 win for Lazio back in April 2023. The reverse fixture in Rome was a 3-0 win for Lazio back in October. The odds for this one, though, tight. Lazio just edge it. I've gone with a 1-0 win, though, for Genoa. Another spanner in the works for this coming Easter weekend over in Italy. Parma will take on Juventus to wrap up the weekend's drama, of course, on Monday at the Eno Tardini. Parma under Christian Chivu. They sit 16th right now. They are 28 points for the season. They've unbeaten the last 5. However, they've drawn the last 5. Up against Juventus under Igor Tudor. They sit 4th right now, 59 points for the season. They're unbeaten in the last 3. Now, they played Parma 49 times since 1993. We have 9 wins Parma, 25 wins for Juventus. There's been 15 draws between the two sides, including a draw when these two sides locked horns in Turin back in October. It was a 2-2 draw way back in the 30th of October. The last time they played at Parma was a 4-0 win for Juventus back in December. The odds on this one, the bookies will back Juventus quite heavily, as do I. 2-0 winners for them on the night, which will be Monday, to take all 3 points. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like. It'll be Inter, top of the charts. Still, Napoli will be level on points with them, as of course we head into a spicy end to the season. Juventus up into 3rd, looking good, as are Atalanta. Going down, Monza, Empoli and Venezia. Still lots to be played over in Italy. We'll bring you back up to date when we return. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. We're down.